situations where it's not about, this whole thing is not about who tough, who not tough. Where are we going with this? How are we growing? You know, are we going to still do the same thing we did when we was, you know, to me, every day is a blessing. Because when I was young, they told me if I get to be 18, I was going to be something special. They said 21 was out the question. I was like, what you mean by that? That was old years was telling me. They said, well, shit, you're going to either be on the real death row. That's why I want to name my company Death Row. But they said I was going to either be on the real death row doing time, waiting to get executed, or be dead. So my mother was washing my clothes one time, and she found my driver's license. So what you doing with this fake driver's license? I said, no, Mama, it's real. And it was, you know, my driver's license, I was at the time like 16, 17. My driver's license said I was 26. Said people want to put their age back, not forward. I said, Mama, they say I ain't gonna make it. Before I go, I'm gonna live. So I was really going to the club, showing my ID, going in, having a good time. And so once I got older, every time I got older, it was just another blessing. So if I didn't do nothing else in life, if I don't do nothing else in life, I already beat all the odds. It seemed like I lived 1,000 years. I did everything you can think of, but die. You know, sometimes if it's Netflix or Stars or Showtime or a lot of the other companies, right? When you get ready to do stuff with them, either one, they want you to water it down, or they want to make sure this person don't get upset if it's the truth, or they want to, you know, they just want to water it down. And I believe that, you know, there's only one truth. And if you're going to help the people, especially the younger generation, because I always believe that's our most important goal is helping the youth. If you're going to do something uncut, you got to deliver it the right way, regardless how the truth comes out. Because always be entertaining, but should also be a learning process. And then with, you know, with BLK, Prime, it's different because they're the first platform to say, hey, we're going to be as aggressive as you want it to be. We're going to tell the truth. We're not going to water that down. It's going to be, it is what it is. Ball to ball, strike to strike. And what could be better than that, you know? And since I've been in here, from the county jail to being in prison, you know, a lot of times people come in and try to take advantage. They be like, oh, they say they talk to this person to get something done. They talk to that person to get something done. And they lie, right? But it's not about putting anybody down. It's about moving forward. And this situation is where I've really had an opportunity to put a period behind all question marks. It's like when people do a lot of stuff on Pac, when they be talking about Pac, it be people who never met him or never hung with him or didn't know anything about him or they knew the stuff about him when he was taking ballet. They didn't know those aggressive years. And like what you've seen in these series, it'll teach you how to build a company. It will teach you how to build a friendship. You will see how people lose their lives.
Hey, this is Joker News here speaking. You know what it is. Hit that like and subscribe. Let us know where you're all from. Let's jump into it. Suge Knight's name is a constant topic on hip-hop podcasts these days, but the incarcerated ex-music mogul is about to tell his life story his way and says it'll be nothing but raw, uncut facts. You know, he told TMZ Hip Hop that they spoke to the Death Row Records founder from the California State Penitentiary, where he's doing 28 years for voluntary manslaughter and also plotting out a 10-season TV series on BLK Prime, chronicling his life before, during, and after launching the legendary label home to Tupac Shakur, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre. Condolences to Tupac, rest in peace. Even though he's behind bars, Suge told us he plans to provide voiceover for the series like Ray Liotta did as Henry Hill in Goodfellas, and each season will chronicle a different era of his life. Now, Season 1 will dive headfirst into Pac's stint at Death Row until his death, and Season 2 will focus on Biggie's presence in the Death Row and Bad Boy drama. Now, Season 3 will be about Suge's relationship turned rivalry with Diddy. Now, Seasons 4 and 5 will tackle Dr. Dre and Snoop respectively. Now, Death Row's reputation as a hostile work environment has been discussed for years, and Suge, being the big boss that he is, couldn't deny his office had its fair share of physical deuce-tips. Now, according to Suge, he intentionally brought the competitive he learned playing football to his office space to make death row as tough as its name. He says Pac and Snoop had no problem thriving in the gangster environment, but does acknowledge those crazy times took a toll on the company. The 5 other planned seasons dig into the NWA era and Eazy-E, plus the East and West Coast tensions, the Crips, Bloods, and of course Suge's trial and conviction. Now the show will begin filming this summer and stream exclusively in the fall, and a network Suge promises will leave his story intact no matter how brutal it comes across. So stay tuned. We've got more with Suge coming up, including his thoughts on Snoop buying death row while he was locked up, so we can see how he was actually feeling. Was he actually punching the air? Was he, how he actually felt about that? And I talked about that in a past video, what he was doing potentially when Snoop Dogg got death row records. Now, Suge Knight continues to reveal stories from behind bars, with his latest being about signing an NFL legend to death row records in the 90s. In a recent interview with Nick Cannon's, the former label boss called him from prison to talk about his new podcast, The Collect Call with Suge Knight. Now, amid the conversation, Suge revealed that he once had Deion Sanders on his roster of artists. Deion Sanders, when Prime wanted to be a rapper, he said, "I want to be a rapper." Suge recalled, "I spent over $500,000 of my own money. I put guys in the studio. I paid Dallas, Austin. I did all these songs. I did everything." He went on, and then one day he came to me and said, "Well, Prime deal with the Nike and Death Row is a black-owned company, and we don't really want to deal with a black-owned company, even though you paid for everything and we signed to you. Put us on the Interscope brand." Now, the 50-year-old explained that Sanders then took a deal with Jimmy Levine, to which he claims to have been deeply involved in Sanders' success. Now, Suge also claims that he was never paid for the work he put into the retired football star's artistic career. And I think the industry is controlled, he was saying, by women in the world. He declared the females got everything on lock, and when you look at the women, they came such a long way, and they're really, really strong. They're not in the shadows of a man. They're leading the way. I think Cardi B is incredible. That's probably one of the biggest stars in the industry and a great businesswoman that leads the way. He went on, and then you look at Doja Cat, and she's such a big star. There's nothing she can't do and be successful with. When you're talking about the R&B tip, I don't know any of these people personally, but at the same time, Summer Walker, Lizzo, and SZA, these women going out there and they making it happen. Suge then noted that the women rappers of today look like runaway models and are dating openly versus women artists of the past who were only viewed as the homegirls. But I'm going to keep everybody updated with news. Hit that like and subscribe. Let me know where you're all from. Let me know what you're all thinking.